extreme. They live in tunnels underground and inside wood. So Rudy Sheffron, one of the country's leading termite experts, sat in the passenger seat next to me, charting a course to the bugs. He wore bifocals over his sunglasses while he scoured the last survey of termites in the area, published in 1934, around the time of the building of the Hoover Dam. Funded by a sugar refiner, along with lumber, railway, and electric companies, the survey hired entomologists to figure out which bugs might try to eat the electrical poles, bridges, and railway trestles that industry was erecting across California, Nevada, Arizona, and Mexico. When Rudy sensed termites in the landscape, his sunburned knees began to twitch, which jiggled his head, sending little triangles of reflected light from his 2 pairs of glasses ricocheting around the rental car. It felt like a party. When there were no termites, he seemed depressed. We drove past a lake. "Probably a nice place," he said in a flat, declining tone. "But there's no termites there." Rudy is a termite chauvinist. He talked world records. Oldest insect? Termite queens can live to be 25 years old, maybe more, no one knows. Fastest animal. Some soldier termites slam their mandibles shut at 120 miles an hour, faster than a cheetah runs. Biggest terrestrial structures. Mounds in Africa, Asia, and Australia can be up to 30 feet high. And about termites' reputation as pests? Only 28 out of 2,800 species are invasive pests, and Rudy believes that the first destructive drywood termites traveled from Peru on Spanish ships in the 1500s. Not their fault. The geneticists in the back of the car laughed politely. They were not here to appreciate termites. They were here to appropriate them. Termite guts are a molecular treasure chest. 90% of the organisms in them are found nowhere else on Earth. The purpose of this trip was to gather the termites and their microbial mush in the vials and jam them into the dry ice before the genetic information they held deteriorated. The geneticists didn't just want the microbes' DNA, they also wanted the molecules of RNA, which could tell them which parts of the genetic code were in use at the precise moment the termites took their tumble into the thermos. Perhaps by seeing exactly how termites break down wood, we'd be able to do it too. If this trip succeeded in capturing a few good molecular moments, humans might eventually be able to power our cars without worsening climate change, or make fuel without drilling in national parks or causing oil spills. This trip could change the world, or at least the lives of the scientists in the cars. We barreled down a long hill toward a scrub basin when Rudy's legs began to twitch. The reflections from his glasses whizzed around the interior of the car. I look out here and I just see billions of termites. Just before I got interested in termites, they lost the identity, the distinctive order Isoptera, that they'd had for the last 175 years. In 2007, a paper was published called Death of an Order. A comprehensive molecular phylogenetic study confirms that termites are eusocial cockroaches. And just like that, termites became homeless and nameless, demoted to gregarious cockroaches, very distant cousins of the praying mantis. Maybe more important, they were suddenly defined not by what they looked like, but by their genes. Their relationship to the most despised of bugs wasn't news. It was first explored in the 1920s and became obvious with DNA sequencing by 2000 or so. But it wasn't considered a fact until 2007. Here's a possible story of how termites came to be and why we were chasing them across Arizona. Once upon a time, cockroaches were solitary scavengers that ate fruit, rotten leaves, fungi, and bird droppings. They developed their eggs in beautiful bean-like sacs, shot them out their backsides at high speeds, and walked away, leaving their young to fend for themselves. Sometime between 250 million and 155 million years ago, termites evolved from the chassis of these ancient roaches when some of them ate microbes that were able to digest wood. Wood was plentiful, but to survive on it, the bugs needed